All right, y'all, welcome to this video on developing power. This is one of the major things you can do in martial arts. When you develop power, your whole abilities change. You now have the ability to deliver knockout power and end the fight. So this is one of the essential requirements of being an experienced martial artist, is continuing to develop power. And so in this video, we're going to talk about some three basic elements that have to do with developing power, and that is structure, fluid transfer, and speed. Okay, so what do we mean by structure? Structure is your overall stability. It is how your body is connected to the ground and how that relates to contacting someone with force. For instance, if I have poor structure and my legs, let's say, are close together and I hit somebody super hard, I may get off balance, right? And so it's going to be a weaker contact because of that lack of balance. So the first thing in developing power is really developing good, solid stances. When you turn, you want to transfer your weight into the shot. And this goes without saying. I'm sure you've heard this before. However, many people, they hear a thing and they don't do it. Whenever you transfer your weight, this means also that you want to be relaxed relatively. You want to think of it as dead weight, not as live weight. A lot of people try to force themselves into something. They try to force something, right? If you force something, you have a lot of muscles going together, it's going to be less effective. But if you have a dead weight, you'll actually use less energy, but you'll transfer more mass into the target. So dead weight is actually the best. Okay, your trajectory is also essential. You want to move your structure in a straight line. You don't want to go off to the side, right? You want to do it in a straight line. If you do it in a straight line, that energy is going to be directed all the way through the target, and it's not going to peel out to the side and thus lose the energy, right? It's kind of like shooting a gun and the bullet deflects off of a target as opposed to penetrates into the target. Okay, very essential. Okay, so structure, your stance, your twisting motion, turning your knees into it when you twist through. Okay, following through the target, putting the structure through the target. When we're hitting mitts or we're hitting bags, you don't want to strike at it. You don't strike at the surface. You strike through, you put your whole structure through that target. And you just over and over, hit through it. Okay, hitting in a straight line. Hitting off those two knuckles, right? If you're doing a regular punch, or if you're doing a Wing Chun style chain fist, you may be striking with the back three knuckles. Okay, and then conditioning that structure. If you work bare hands, this is going to condition that tissue to be able to absorb and to penetrate through, as opposed to crumbling, right? Your muscles are also an element when it comes to structure. Your muscles, are they solid? Are they tense enough to withstand that pressure? Do they have enough strength behind them not to crumble under the pressure, and also to push through their structure? Okay. Then we have fluid transference. This is, you probably never heard of this. This is something that really makes a difference. This is the difference between trying to force your structure through and actually letting your structure go. Okay? Think about fluid transference as you have a glass of water right? I don't know if you can see, there's a little bit of water in here. Well, this water, actually, hold on a second. Okay. So this water is like so. Your body is full of water. So if you slosh it to one side, it's going to go up, as you see there, right? It's going to go up on one side. And this is the same thing when it has to do with transferring your power into something. You're not, if you force it, the water is going to be in the back. The fluids are going to be in the back, and it's not going to be as powerful. So you want to create a whip with that water. You want to create a whip. And so the difference is how you deliver it. When you whip it, it's going to crash. The water's going to crash into the opponent. But if you force it, the water's going to be in the back, and then it's not going to be as solid at the front of the target. So it's the difference between cracking the whip versus taking just the leather and then pushing it on somebody, right? Huge difference in power. So the fluid transference is that whipping motion. It's taking your body and putting the entire energy circuit from your heel or your toes from the ground all the way up, and then it comes out the end. Okay? Many people miss this point. They may get the other 2 points, but they don't understand fluid transference, and so they lack that extra snap, and which is a big part of power. All right, and then the last one is speed. Speed, you don't want to think of it like you're trying to force it, right? If you do that, not only are you going to lose the fluid transfer, but you're also going to be weaker because your muscles are more tense. Instead, you want to let go. You want to let go with your body. When you want to let go. You want to move your hips, and you want to let go. When you let go, that's going to create speed. Speed is about pulling. It's not about pushing. It's about pulling. I like to tell my practitioners, you're trying to snatch a fly off somebody's nose, right? You don't think about, a lot of people, they want to push their jab. If you push your jab, you can tell somebody's about to jab, right? But if you pull the jab, a lot faster. You start from the target. You don't start from back here, you start from the target. You're just worried about the pullback. Okay? That's speed. Speed will beat so-called, really it's mass we're talking about, not power. Speed will beat mass, because if you can move out of the way of the mass and then hit somebody with your speed, then you'll be effective, and they will miss, right? And they'll tire themselves as they miss. Okay, y'all, these are the 3 principles on developing power. For more on this, we also have the live stream. Okay, I'll see you next time.